guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna do yet another commander guide, which probably will be one of the last commander guides for a while, because season 2 is starting now. So after that, I still need to level up my commanders and do some real battles and not something, you know, taking tiles or anything. But I do want to put out some beginner guides or something, especially for starting a new season or new world, and you want to know what to do in the beginning. So I'm definitely planning on doing that. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna do another commander guide, as I said, which is gonna be Gandalf. Now, Gandalf is a tier 2 commander, so not sure how many people are gonna have him, but let's talk about for a bit how to get him even. Like I said, he's a tier 2 commander, so he's not gonna be that easy to get, obviously. Um, he is leveled up by these old vineyards, which is, in the normal Madam chest, but I'm not sure how this is gonna be in the season 2, but it's season 1. If you start season 1, the game from new, you're gonna get somewhere in the beginning, you're gonna get a special chest for Gandalf specifically, where whenever you open 10 chests, you're gonna get three of these old vineyards. So after every 10 chests, you get 3 of these vineyards, and you can get 30 of these at maximum from these triple pools, and then you will be able to unlock Gandalf. The chests also have a high chance of giving, like, they only give, as far as I know, they only give these old vineyards as well. So you will be pulling one or two as well additionally. Uh, and after a while, you're gonna have some tips on Gandalf and pulling some more vineyards in the Matham chest. You can also, this is actually really good. You can also set your wish list. Here, the exquisite equipment. I don't have it because I already reached rank 3 on him, so I don't really need much more. I'll explain that in the skill parts as well. But yeah, you can just go to settings and select his item here, so you have a higher chance on pulling that as well. But yeah, that's all to Gandalf, how to unlock him. Now, if you did unlock him, great. He's a support commander, so I'm just gonna go over his attributes as usual. The video is always the same. We're gonna talk about the skills and army and show you some reports. So yeah, he's a support commander, so he's gonna get 25 focus and 5 skill points, which is, skill points are always amazing. The more you get, the better. Yeah, special. Whatever that means, I cannot click it, so there's no description for that. Anyway, his stats, as you can see, focus is really high on him. His base value is already really high, actually, and it gets increased by a lot. Speed is, yeah, not really good, but you won't need it either. Might, you don't really need that either. So you mostly will be needing focus on him, because he's healing and doing some focus damage. Yeah, that's all. Let's go to the skills. Now, as I said, if you're opening those chests, I really recommend, if you want to unlock Gandalf, do open those chests, because those are actually good and give you great value. After opening basically 100 chests, you are guaranteed to unlock Gandalf. Maybe even earlier, because you can always pull in the normal chests. You always pull some vineyards as well. But anyway, if you unlock him, you're gonna have him at respect level 1 and have, or 0, and have these two skills. Now, these are both great, as we will talk about it in a second, but I'm just gonna go over what these skills actually do. Mithrandir, in the first rounds, your army is gonna get basically a damage reduction, but it's against the enemy, so the enemy is gonna deal less damage, which is also modified by the focus stat. So as you can already see, focus is gonna be important in him. You know, you wanna increase this percent value as much as you can. It's only the first 4 rounds, but still. And the max level gives 3 allied units avoidance for the first instance of damage. The side skills are also really good. It basically applies to almost all good side units, so men, elves, dwarves, hobbits. I mean, who uses hobbits? But you know, men, elves, and dwarves. It's not gonna apply to the special units, obviously, so no oath breakers or ends or whatever. But I mean, 14% damage reduction is still just really great. So really great skill here. Convener also in the first 2 rounds. All allied units gonna get initiative and a 75% chance to attack twice each round. Now, what's initiative? Initiative makes your units to attack first. Doesn't matter what speed they are, they always gonna attack first in the battle. It's good because some commanders, you know, do have stun. So your unit's gonna go first, do some damage, and even if they get stunned, you know, it's still good. So initiative is great, and obviously attack twice each round. Like wow, that's really good. I mean, yeah, 75% chance. So 3 out of 4 times you're gonna attack twice in the first 2 rounds, and it applies obviously to your whole army. So really good. The Grey is his healing skill. Now this is really specific. After the commander deals damage, so it's not only applies to normal attacks, but anything he does damage with. He's gonna have a 50% chance, so a 50-50 chance to proc a heal, which is gonna apply to one allied unit, and that's gonna heal him by an X amount of HP, 100%. And the max level give you additional focus. Max level gives you additional focus, which is great. As you can see, you know, he already has skills which are modified by your focus stat here later as well. So yeah, you want to have as much focus as possible on him, and you know, healing is always nice. Now, fleeting movement has a round 2 cooldown, so it's gonna activate in round 3, 6, and 9. Gives 2 allied units avoidance, and has a 75% chance to proc. So it's not 100%, but you know, 3 out of 4 times it has a chance of giving avoidance to 2 units. And I think, as far as I know, it's not the skill that is 75%, but to that it applies. So you know, it takes 1 unit, takes the dice roll, and if it did, yeah, okay, avoidance. If it didn't, he just doesn't get avoidance. Then takes the next unit and rolls the dice once more. So it's also a great skill, especially because it has it procs 3 times, activates 3 times. Blindside is gonna deal focus damage to 1 enemy target, again modified by the focus stat, and inflict stun for 1 round, which is great. Also has a round 2 cooldown, so round 3, 6, and 9 it's gonna activate. And now, I didn't put any points in here. I will explain that why. I mean, I didn't put more points in here. I mean, I explain that later. It has to do with the Grey skill. But you know, even putting 1 point in here is still gonna give you the stun. So you know that's why I went for it. Plus, the gray, which I gonna explain in a second. Wizard, if you have unlocked him or upgraded him to respect level 3, this is also a great skill. Um, Makes it that in round 1 it stuns 2 enemy targets and um, defense and gives them defense down for the next 3 rounds. So it doesn't have a cooldown, so it's only gonna activate in the very beginning of the battle. It stuns 2 units, and they're gonna get a debuff, a defense debuff for 3 rounds. If you wanna max it, you're still gonna get focus 15, which is, like I said, amazing. You want as much focus on him as possible. Surge, it's a usual focus commander stuff. Most focus commanders actually have this skill. It deals focus damage twice. Each separate attack chooses a different target, and it's also modified by the focus stat. Round 2 cooldown, so 3, 6, and 9. And yeah, so like I said, it doesn't deal twice to one unit, but it deals to one unit and chooses another target. It deals the damage again. And Pipe V Connoisseur. Now, as I mentioned it, a lot of times I'm not a fan of these percent skills. That's why I didn't put any points in here. Now, this actually might be a good skill, because especially he doesn't need any might, so I don't mind losing might on him. But you're gonna get 2% focus per point, so it's gonna be at plus 14% focus. And as you were able to see, I already had like 300 focus on him, so that's gonna give him like, I don't know, like around 40 focus. That's actually really huge. So, yeah, it just doesn't go with my build. That's why I didn't put any points in here. And I also don't have any points left. So, not much to do here. This skill, if you have him at like high respect levels, I don't know, respect 15, 20 or something, definitely put some points in here to increase his focus even further. But it's just I don't know. I didn't really need it. Now, respect level 5, I didn't have him unlocked at that level, but it's the White Council tree. Now, many people complain about this tree for it to be useless. Now, it's not completely useless, so I disagree there. It has some situational use, so it's not gonna be an all-around skill like these, these apply everywhere and these are always good. This is gonna have some, especially the side skills are gonna have some situational use where they are really good, and then the rest is just for the rest of the times you don't really want to have them actually. Now, White Council makes that all allied units, sorry. So your whole army is gonna get a damage reduction effect for the 3 instances of damage received. So every unit for the 3 damages in the beginning they receive, they're gonna get damage reduction on that, and it's modified by the focus stat. Now, the max level effect increases this 3 to 4. So the first 4 instances of damage, they're gonna take less damage, and it applies to all allied units. So this is a really great skill in my opinion, actually. Damage reduction is great in the game because it applies to all kinds of damage. It's not only gonna apply to physical damage. Like defense is only reducing physical damage, not burn or anything different, focus damage or anything. But this damage reduction is gonna reduce damage by any kinds of damage. So this is actually great. And you will also notice this build relies on taking basically that you're gonna take different parts of damage, especially burn damage. As you can see, high alert, focus, burn, and poison damage received -%. So this whole tree basically tries to counter any armies that are dealing special damage. I call it special damage. You know, you have physical and special damage. Special damage is basically focus, burn, and poison damage. So the other damage types which are not reduced by defense. And this one, Champion of the Light, all allies are gonna get a damage boost to orcs, against orcs, Uruk-hai, and trolls. So if you watched my Dvalin guide, I mentioned that he was great against Alchemist and Kamul and Witch King nuke builds. Now this tree is basically a counter against that. Anything Mordor, you know, those Mordor nuke builds with which I explained, which use alchemists and trolls. So the taunt trolls basically protect the alchemists. This tree basically counters that, especially Witch King and Kamul, especially Witch King. I think he's gonna deal a ton of damage in the beginning of the battle. So the Witch King is basically relying on that. You know, he's putting out bonkers of damage. He kills the whole army. Your whole army he's gonna kill in the first 2 or 3 rounds. So you can't do anything, you know, because you don't deal any, too much damage. But Gandalf is gonna reduce the damage they take in the beginning of the battle. You know, the first 3 to 4 instances of damage is gonna get reduced by a lot. Actually, you know, it's even modified by the focus stat. And they also, you know, alchemists doing burn damage. He's gonna reduce that burn damage by a fair amount, and also makes that your army is gonna deal more damage to them. You know, the town trolls they have, and alchemists are actually count as Uruk-hai, as far as I know. So you know, you're gonna deal a lot more damage against them. So this whole tree is basically trying to counter that alchemist or fire damage nuke build. But as I said, it's situational. So if you're not going against those armies, if you're not going against Mordor or anything evil, and or they not you notice, okay, they are not using that build at all. You are not seeing that they are using something else. Just don't go for it. You know. There is better stuff, like, you know, these trees. So, respect level 1 or 0 to 2, these trees are definitely what you want to go for, both Mithrandir to max and the Grey, as I did here, you know, just put as many points in these three skills, max these 2 out, and just put the rest of your points in here. Now, why, you may ask, why did I put just 1 point in here? You want to increase this damage. You don't really want to, because your army is already going to deal a lot of damage. You know, here they also going to avoid lots of damage and get damage reduction. So your army is actually going to be really tanky. And now Grey, I will show you how in the report how Grey actually works. Anytime, like I said, Gandalf is gonna deal damage, he's gonna have a 50-50 chance to proc a heal on one of your allied units. So you basically want to put points in skills that where he is dealing damage. It doesn't matter how much damage he deals, he's still gonna activate the chance to proc the Grey. So here, blindside, he deals damage, which is gonna have a chance to proc the Grey. If you have him in respect 3, put points in here. He's gonna deal damage 2 times, which is 2 times chance to proc the Grey again. So that's why I put points in here, and it's just 1 or 2 points. You know, it doesn't matter how many points you put in here, and just max these rest of the skills out. And you know, like I said, Mithrandir is a great skill, and these side skills are great as well. That's why I maxed this tree and didn't max Wizard. Wizard is only a round 1 stun, doesn't have a cooldown, so it's not gonna be that effective, and applies a defense down, which is okay, you know, but it's still your units are already gonna have uh, yeah, a, not avoidance and not damage reduction, but you know, the enemy army is gonna get a damage reduction. So yeah, it's, I didn't put any points in, didn't max this one out. It's fine. So this build is what I would actually recommend on using on him. You know, if you don't have him at respect level 3, just put the rest of the points in here, like I said. And if you wanna do this, if you really wanna do this nuke build, counter those nuke builds, because you are seeing, okay, the enemies are using those armies, which I explained. Max this one out, max these out, and what you also wanna do is max Wizard out, because he is gonna do a round 1 cooldown, round 1 stun. Sorry, round 1 stun. So he's basically gonna stun those alchemists, and they're not gonna do anything. And they actually rely on doing anything, you know, in the beginning of the battle. And they also gonna get defense down. And the alchemists actually have like, I don't know, 20 defense or something. So they're not gonna have any defense in the first 3 rounds, and they're just gonna die off like no tomorrow. And yeah, Surge is fine. You could also put some points in here in blindside, you know, if you're using this counter build. You can try to put some points in here for the stun. You know, put 2 points in here, 1 point in here, and you already have a round 3, 6, and 9 stun, which is great. So you have a round 1 stun, round 3 stun, which is really gonna, in my opinion, I didn't try it because I don't have him at respect level 5, but in my opinion, it's really gonna counter those nuke armies. So that's all about his skills. Let's go over his equipment real quick. Now, as I said, as you were already able to see, focus is what you want to increase the most. So focus, 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 and focus. And another thing, some items have these skills which are giving you an extra attack. So Mind Split, for example, every time my commander performs, so every time Gandalf performs a normal attack, it has a 50-50 chance to do another attack, which is also modified by focus stat, deals focus damage. So it's not gonna activate every time, but you know, it's gonna have a 50-50 chance of proccing every time my commander attacks. And he attacks every round because normal attacks, you know. It's great, and guess what? It's also gonna work for the Grey. So if you have equipment like that, I think this one of these, I had something on it. Yeah, for example, Smite is also after the commander attacks, it's also meaning basically the normal attack against one enemy target, deals an additional focus damage, again modified by the focus stat. So this is also great. I chose this one because it has focus and army. You know, it's just the golden stuff. Commander, it increases more stuff on him, and also gonna give my army, men and elves, buffs, you know. So that's why I chose this one and just took the 50-50 chance. But otherwise, Smite is gonna be great as well. Now for the other stuff, just whatever has focus on it, take it. I don't really have much to equip actually, so I just took what I had. Again, focus here. Now this was great. I pulled it like a week ago. Also gives you focus, and every 2 rounds, one allied unit is gonna recover some amount of HP, which is great. He already heals a bit with the gray, and just a little bit more heals are always nice. So, but whatever you got, harps are always gonna be nice. Focus, it also gives you focus. So take whatever you got and try to increase his focus as much as possible. Now, for the army, um, as you saw, uh, he basically buffs everything: men, elves, and dwarves. So it doesn't really matter what you are actually using on him. I would recommend using at least one tanky unit. So what I actually like running on him is Cataphracts, Dunedains, and Bowknights. Cataphracts are basically my tanks here. Um, their HP and defense are great. They are also dealing decent amount of damage. Gonna get damage reduction against melee units. So Cataphracts are, in my opinion, great tanks. I use them here. Dunedains is to counter archers. Now, there are more builds I'm usually running on him. I'm using Dunedains because right now I was fighting Lindon here, Lindon and Arnor yesterday, as you will see in the reports. And they always have these ranged tier 4 units. Also Lothlorien has them. So if you are going against tier 4 ranged, you definitely want to get some Dunedains in here. And Gandalf is just a tanky commander, so they are not gonna die as quickly as they usually would. They are squishy units, but their damage is actually pretty good. And obviously, Bow Knights, in my opinion, the best tier 3 archers in the game, or in the good side, I mean. So yeah, just use those, I'd say. Otherwise, for example, if you are going against cavalry armies, like, oops, I didn't want to select this one. If you are going against cavalry armies, for example, Eowyn or Eomer, Theoden, in general Rohan or Gondor, you want to try to switch out maybe your Dunedains to Guard of the Tower. So you basically use two tanks in the front line, Cataphracts and Guard of the Tower. Guard of the Tower is effective against cavalry, and just Bow Knights in the back, which is gonna be really great. Gandalf is already a tanky commander, so he's gonna give a lot of sustain to your units, and now these units are also tanky AF, so it's gonna be good. Otherwise, if you are, for example, if you are playing Erebor, you could also use the T4 unit, which you got, the T4 Dwarf unit, use Master Throwers, and maybe use either Guardians or Ram Riders in the front, which is also gonna be great. The T4s and these units are already tanky. Master Throwers and Ram Riders are putting out pretty good damage, so try to mix it up. Tank units with damage dealing units. Gandalf is gonna protect them. Your tank units are protecting your high damage dealing units. So that's what I would recommend using on him. And he's buffing everything: men, elves, dwarves. So it doesn't really matter. Now I'm gonna show you some reports which I basically did yesterday and a few days ago. Again, this was against Linden. Like I said, they have these Noldor long shots, which are the T4s. They are doing a pretty good damage. But you know, I used my Dunedaines here, which also did crazy amounts of damage, and they just annihilated these T4s here. As you can see, he already healed 40k, which is nice. Damage reduction is ridiculous, almost ridiculous on Gandalf, and the avoidance as well, you know. Um, Although I gotta say, the Noldor longshots actually have this keen eye skill, which is ignoring avoidance. So it's not gonna be the avoidance of Gandalf not gonna be useful against these. But you know, I just try to counter them with Dunedaines here, which actually worked out really well, as you can see. Um, Again, basically the same, same results here. Uh, just no chance against Gandalf here. Gandalf's damage reduction, really protecting these Dunedaines, and they are just dealing bonkers damage. As well as my Bow Knights, as you can see here, 58k. So, again, don't sleep on these D4s. They are great. They are dealing a lot of damage, as you can see. So try to counter them as much as possible. Now Gandalf against Gandalf. It depends who's got the better Gandalf, you know. He only has him at respect level 1 to 2 or whatever, as you can see. So yeah, this round 1's cool. So round 1 stun is actually huge, and the defense down as well. So yeah, I kind of won this one. Plus, I already had the tanks in here. He did have his tanks as well, but you know, my Dunedaines countered his archers, and he just, you know, these cavalry units actually relying on the first instance of damage. Guess what? Gandalf stuns them and also gives avoidance for your army. So goodbye, cavaliers. Another one here. Again, these poor master throwers just got annihilated by my Dunedaines. So you see, Dunedaines are actually really great with Gandalf, especially if you're going against some strong range units. And here's 2 tanks, but I did have my Bow Knights as well, doing extra damage. So that was great. Again, Gandalf against Gandalf. This was another draw. This was a follow-up draw. He just didn't pull out his faults, you know. Against Dvalin. It's not the Dvalin build I used. It's again the healing Dvalin build, which is okay, as I said, but it's I'm gonna show you a better Dvalin build in a second. I did a battle yesterday, but yeah, it's his damage is not really great with this build. His healing again is not really great. My Dunedaines annihilated his T4. Cavaliers is not that effective against Gandalf, and my Cataphracts are tanking everything. And I didn't have the full army, as you can see. So he did have a full army. I didn't have a full army, and still just tanked everything. Again, this guy just keep coming back and keeps getting wrecked. Now this was another Haldir, another guy with a Haldir ranged lineup, which is based on this Galadrim skill tree. So he basically used a max ranged build with Ranger of the North, which are protecting the other ranged units. But, you know, my Dunedaines still shined here with their damage against ranged. So, you know, and Gandalf actually healed a lot as well, 50k, which is pretty good. Now this was kind of the build I talked about with Khamûl and Alchemists. Although if you are using Mordor, as you can see, I wouldn't recommend using solely Alchemists. At least try to protect them with something, especially those Taunt Trolls. They are gonna be great, but you know, just Bow Knights are countering them, so but still, you want to protect these, otherwise they're just not gonna do any damage, and I'm just gonna tank them all the way. Even if I didn't have the white console tree. Now imagine that with a white console tree, they just gonna get completely wrecked here. So yeah, at least he could have used some draws here. Now, yeah, this build is just ridiculous. Lurts with Muma kills. Still, my Gandalf had damage reduction and stuff like that, so he survived. But especially, I would say, especially high DPS commanders are basically the one that can come up to Gandalf and try to counter him. So as you can see, Lurds and, for example, also Legolas and actually the Dvalin build I did is pretty good against Gandalf, because Gandalf is only stunning the enemy army, and okay, he's gonna give damage reduction and avoidance maybe to your units, but it's not always, and he's just gonna wreck them. Now I'm gonna show you for a second how his gray skill, which I talked about, activates. Let's go to the battle report. So blah blah blah. Gandalf activates Mend. This is the Mend from the equipment. This is not that. Gandalf attacks. It's normal attack, and you see, after every attack he does, he has a chance to proc Grey. Now it didn't affect. It didn't trigger. Also, if someone is avoiding stuff, your commander is not going to do any damage. And as you can see, Grey didn't even activate here. Didn't even try to activate, because it only activates if your commander actually deals damage. Also, follow up is basically initiative. Follow up is the double attack, and initiative, you can see all my units are attacking first, so that's great. Follow up is basically the double attack. Yeah, Gandalf the Grey. Yeah, Gandalf the Grey attacks. You see, it's the normal attack, and it actually triggered Gandalf the Grey, the Grey skill, which heals Bow Knights. Then Mind Split, it's from the equipment, as you can see. Deals focus damage, activates the Grey again. So I was lucky this round. Now, next round, for example, Gandalf the Grey activates Surge, is one of the skills, deals damage twice. One time it didn't activate. The second time, why is it? Okay, one of his units is avoided. That's why that's why I was confused. And Blindside, also one of the skills, the stunning skill, also deals some damage. Again, activated Grey. So as you can see, whenever he attacks, here attacks normal attack, activated Grey, launches Mind Split from the equipment, activates Grey. So every time he attacks, does any kinds of damage, he's gonna activate Grey, which is gonna heal your units. So as I said, you really want to do as many attacks as possible. Now I'm gonna show you the, where was it? Hold on. Yeah, this one. So how you would actually try to go against Gandalf. This is not my Gandalf. This is my Dvalin here, enemy Gandalf here. Let me see what build he got. Yeah, he's got the Respect level 1 build. And as you can see, my Dvalin almost did 200,000 damage. So against Gandalf, you really want to go with some high DPS commanders. They are going to be great. Otherwise, army buff commanders, as you were able to see, Haldir and everything, just Gandalf is kind of countering them. So yeah, that's basically it about Gandalf. He's a really great tank, a tanky tier 2 commander. Absolutely recommend you get it if you want to spend a little bit in the game, or if you hoarded a lot of those medals. Absolutely. So I absolutely recommend. He's gonna be great, no matter what race you are playing. As you were able to see, he buffs everything. So yeah, just go for it and enjoy using him because he's great. I hope my guide helped. If you have any ideas, or if you actually tried the respect level 5 build and it worked for you, or if it didn't work for you, let me know in the comments. You can always comment. And if you want to see some new stuff, if you have some ideas what I could do more, also you can always tell me down in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to backhand the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. But otherwise, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to put out some beginner guides or stuff in the new season, which is gonna come up tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that. We are going to play Rohan again, and I'm gonna play in roleplay server, so it's basically gonna be the same. But yeah, I'm really excited about season 2. Yeah. Otherwise, I see you guys around. Peace out.